Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Good morning, I'm Tisha Fenn with the Walton Youth Project and just wanted to let you know a few things that we have going on right now. We are currently working on the Meet Me in Monroe campaign with Downtown Development Authority. We're doing some things to show off some locations in downtown Monroe. We also tonight have our yearly board training with our adult board of directors, and we do currently have a spot open on that board. So if you'd be interested in advising the Walton Youth Project and helping out some of our young people with grassroots initiatives, you can give me a call at 770-207-3174. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's Michelle Patrick here, your 4-H agent in Walton County, and I just wanted to invite you all to our 4-H Fall Harvest. This is a new annual event that we'll be having every year. This year it'll be on October 22nd from 5 to 8 p.m. and we're going to have horses for pony rides, a campfire, s'mores. We're going to have pigs and goats and all sorts of fun activities for kids. We have different types of games. We'll have a campfire and s'mores. We'll even have a fire truck out there. It's a totally free event, and we just want to get the community together and for everyone to come out and have a good time. So feel free to come by 5 to 8 p.m. You'll see here on the sign that Mr. Paul's going to put up for you that we have some live music, the Hibbs Family Band, Funky Bluester. We're going to have a big raffle with a Yeti cooler and an Apple Watch. Tickets are $5. They'll support our programs, and we're super grateful for the continued support from Walton County. So thank you very much. See you there.
Hi, this is Jody Johnson, and I'm here with another recreation report. We've got a lot of activity going on. Y'all know fall is one of our busiest times. The weather is absolutely fantastic. We're in October, and we probably could use a little rain, but as far as youth athletics, we love this 70-degree dry days. It's really been good. Our fall baseball and softball and soccer and cross country are all coming to an end right now, so we're in our last week here right before fall break. Once kids go on that fall break, we're actually done with our with those seasons. Our football and cheerleading season will run. We actually missed a week. Yeah, we all thought the hurricane was coming through, so we had games that were delayed. So now we're going all the way to October 29th. We played each Saturday at all the local high schools, and they'll play up until October 29th, and then the first week in November we'll start our playoffs for the Northeast Georgia Youth Football League. So our football and cheerleading season's going well. We've got several teams that are at the top of their divisions, so we look forward to several of our teams making it into the playoffs this year in our first year in the North Georgia Football League. So congratulations to them. Several of the Monroe teams especially are doing well. Our basketball season, now that our fall sports are winding down, as always, when we end one season, we go right into the next season. Our youth basketball registration is over. If you're still possibly wanting to play, you can call one of our offices or go on our website and look to see if we have any spaces available. But we are in the process of organizing, which means we're doing our evaluations, placing kids on teams, ordering uniforms, looking for coaches. We're doing all that right now, and then we'll start practicing here in a couple weeks to get prepared. We'll start our games the week after Thanksgiving. At all of our gyms. We have 6 gyms that we'll be playing in this year, including the new South Walton Community Center, which is going extremely well. We've had a lot of people come in and give rave reviews of the overall appearance of the building and then the overall layout. So we've had a lot of new members come in, and once you're a member, if you're a member already at Monroe, you are welcome to come down and check out the facilities. A lot of times there's, it's not as crowded as, say, Loganville or the Monroe facilities, so if you go upstairs, you're liable to be able to utilize the equipment at whatever you'd like to do. So it's basically the same equipment that are at Monroe and Loganville Community Centers, so it's very similar, just a little different layout. Some of the equipment is new, thanks to the Walton County Healthcare Foundation, who donated the money for all of that exercise equipment like they did for the other community centers. So we thank them as well for that donation. So we do have a lot of activities going on here with the basketball starting, and all the other sports ending. So we look forward to our fall break coming up. October, I think it's October 10th through the 15th, somewhere in there is the fall break for the schools, and we generally take a step back during that week as well to let everybody go on their vacations, let our folks spend some time with their families, and then we'll get right back to it with our basketball and continuing our football season. So we do invite you to go into, now that the weather is getting cooler, and we're kind of shrinking the amount of daylight that we have that's for us to use. We do invite you to come to one of our community centers and join us. Prorated fees. We only charge $104 per year, but at this time we prorate that $2 per week. So it's probably around half price at this point. So come on in and join your family and stay fit. We have the indoor walking trails and all the novice equipment that you'd want. It also gets you into a lot of the classes that we have, whether it's Zumba or dance or any of those type of classes that we may have that you might be interested in to stay fit. And if you're like me, during when the time changes, which is coming up at the end of October, the beginning of November, the days are really short, so it's hard to stay active. This is a great way to do that, is to join one of our community centers. So look forward to seeing you there. And until next time, thank you very much. Remember, sportsmanship starts at home, and if you'd like to volunteer, we sure could use you here at the community centers. Thank you.
Hi everyone, hello, and welcome to our October membership luncheon. Thank you all for being here today. I am Amy Elliott. I am a business banker at Pinnacle Bank here in Monroe, and I am your 2022 chair for the Chamber Board of Directors. So thank you again for being here. So we always want to thank our sponsors first. We thank them so much for their sponsorship. We've got Meta and Precision Planning as our sponsors today. So I'd like to ask Miss Katie Comer with Meta to come up and share some words about Meta.
Thank you, Amy. It is always such a pleasure to be here with you guys today to not only celebrate our awesome leaders that are running our wonderful community, but to also share a little bit more about the work that we're doing at Meta. Our data center is based in Stanton Springs, and since we broke ground in 2018, we vowed to be really great community partners to the communities that are part of the Joint Development Authority, which encompasses Walton County. We immediately got in touch with Terry and the wonderful leaders at the Chamber and immediately said, hey, what can we do for your community? We're here for the long run. We want to make sure we're giving back to the community that we love and that we're a part of now. And Terry was so wonderful. She walked through everything that you guys are doing in Walton County in 2018, and I said, well, let's join the Chamber and let's figure out how we make an impact. Little did we know, about 8 months later, the world was going to go into a global pandemic. And that first week of COVID, I called Terry and I said, hey, Terry, we know that small businesses and businesses in our community are really struggling right now. What can we do at Meta to help? We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep our community alive right now. And Terry and I worked together. We were able to do a ton of small business grants for Walton County specifically, but that's just a portion of what we do at Meta. Our data center here in Stanton Springs is truly the backbone of our infrastructure, our apps and platforms that I know you all love and use hopefully every day. They're bringing the world closer together, and Walton County is a huge piece of that. Without the data center, you wouldn't be able to share a photo, hopefully at a Georgia game this weekend when we're beating Auburn, or go Dogs, or reach out to your son or daughter who might be stationed overseas in the military using our WhatsApp, our encrypted messaging system. Our data center here is truly connecting our platforms and apps to billions of people around the globe, and you guys are a huge piece of it. We are so proud to call Walton County home. We love supporting the school systems. We love supporting the initiatives here locally. Small plug, we have our Community Action Grant Program currently live and running. Walton County has been a huge recipient of those grants over the years, and those applications are due on October 21st. But Thank you so much for allowing Meta to call this wonderful community home. We appreciate our leaders that make a difference in our communities every single day. And I hope you do post a photo of the Georgia Bulldogs beating Auburn this week. Go Dogs!
Thank you very much, Katie, and thank you, Meta. And again, Precision Planning. We've got some representatives here with Precision Planning. If you'll please take a moment to stand. Thank you again for your membership. So Precision Planning was founded in 1982 by Randall W. Dixon as a planning, engineering, and surveying firm. Today, PPI offers architecture, land planning, landscape architecture, surveying, land development engineering, water resources, and transportation engineering, just a few things that they offer. And in 2007, they opened a satellite office here in Monroe, and they've always been a very big supporter of the chamber, so we thank you for that. And so I mentioned 1982 was when they were established. So on Tuesday, the actual Tuesday, is when they will be celebrating their 40 years in business. So congratulations. So I'll now present our Member of the Month for October. This month's recipient has been a member of the Walton Chamber for 25 years, and we really appreciate their membership and support over all of these years. This company began as a family-owned business and operated that way for 59 years. The company sold to a corporate company in November of 2021, yet it still operates in the same professional manner, just with some additional resources. So this company has had employees serve on various chamber committees, and they have sponsored events and meetings, including the chamber luncheons and other events. So then most recently, they did host our monthly coffee and connections. So this may give it away, but this company was founded in 1962 and is a 165-bed facility here in Monroe. They offer temporary rehabilitation services as well as what we all know as nursing homes for that long-term care services for our community. So we are very excited to recognize Park Place Nursing and Rehabilitation. They are a 25-year member again, and they are our October Member of the Month. So I'd like to ask Jessica Clayton, is she here? Yay, Jessica, come on up. Jessica is the external liaison and business development, and she is here to receive the certificate. Who are we?
Thank you.
So again, congratulations to Park Place Nursing and Rehabilitation. It is very well deserved. So now we're excited to our part of the program for our annual State of the Cities presentations. So we have our mayors and our vice mayors here. So what I'm going to ask for y'all to do is if you'll please stand and while I recognize you. I'm going to introduce you, and in that order you'll come up after we're done with the introductions, and I am going in the alphabetical order by the city. So we've got the city of between. We've got Vice Mayor Wanda Satterwhite. We've got City of Good Hope's Mayor Randy Garrett. Our City of Loganville Mayor Skip Beliles. The City of Monroe Mayor John Howard. City of Social Mayor David Keener. And City of Walnut Grove Mayor Mark Moore. All right, so to keep us all on track, mayors and vice mayors, we've got Carrie right here. She's going to be when she starts waving her sticks here, yeah. That means you've got 30 seconds left to speak. So we took a poll just a moment ago. Skip, you weren't here, but the other mayors aren't going to have these waved, but we just need you to be careful and know that you've got Carrie here to making sure you know when time is up.
Please ask everybody to set your alarm on your car at 1:30.
All right, so again, I thank you all for being here to give our city updates. And now I will ask Ms. Vice Mayor Wanda Satterwhite to come and give the address for City of Between.
You won't need any of those from me, trust me. Good afternoon. I'm Wanda Satterwhite, and I'm the Vice Mayor of Between. Mayor Post regrets that he can't be here today, as do I, but he is enjoying a much-needed vacation with his family at the beach. So he did want, though, to ensure that I thanked the Chamber of Commerce for hosting the State of the City's luncheon. In the past 12 months, the town of Between has continued to experience considerable growth, and both residentially and commercial development. We've closed on 6 new homes, adding 25 new residents to the town's population. Recently, a statewide survey compiled by Zillow, which I'm sure most of you have seen, listed the cities with the fastest growing home prices in Georgia. Walton County had 3 of the top 50, with the town of Between ranked number 38, with current prices being 26.4% higher than 12 months ago, with an average price of $432,745. We were quite proud of that. Recently, we received a rezoning request seeking to rezone 8 acres from B2 to R1 to construct 10 new single-family residences on Nunnally Farm Road. Prices of these residences will range from from the high 400s to the low 500s. As far as commercial development, the town annexed 19 acres on Highway 78, combining it with 6 acres for a development for Rosewood commercial development. The property consists of several commercial sites, including a 25,000 square foot building housing Implement Sales Incorporated. In addition, a large climate-controlled storage facility is under construction, and there are approximately 3 to 4 other sites under negotiation for commercial structures. Then, recently, P44 LLC purchased 20 acres of property located on Highway 78 east of New Hope Church Road for an office/warehouse development consisting of 2 buildings totaling 60,000 square feet. One of our existing businesses located on Royal Park Drive, Maddox Industries, has requested permits to add 10,000 square feet to their existing building, basically doubling it to 20,000 square feet plus square feet. And we've had 2 new businesses to move into the town, American Structures 2, which is a distributor of garages, barns, and carports, and a full-service landscape developer, Dogwood Property Services. We are in the middle of the design and engineering phase for the new town hall building, which we're excited about. And barring any delays, we will go out for bids in mid-February with occupancy hopefully by late 2023. And finally, after months of hard work, we've revised the town's zoning ordinance, which hasn't been updated since 1995. So you can only imagine the changes that were required. We plan to adopt that zoning ordinance at next week's meeting. And in closing, I'd like to say that the town of Between is very proud to be part of Walton County. We feel working with the elected officials and the county officials and the elected officials of the other municipalities, that the future growth of Walton County looks very promising. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Randy Garrison, Mayor of Good Hope. Some years ago, probably about 2 actually, our last election, one of our councilmen that was running for election came up with the phrase, "Everything is gooder in Good Hope," as his campaign slogan. And our challenge as a city government, and actually as a community, is to keep everything in our 1 mile radius city limits for our 354 citizens at least gooder, and to strive for goodest. Anybody that had Ms. Hogan for English back in high school at Monroe would know that I was been terrified to say that then. But anyway, taking that challenge, we wanted to address maybe a little bit of a formal process of how to do that. So we developed, in conjunction with our citizens, a Good Hope vision statement I'd like to share with you. Good Hope is a small rural town with a heart bigger than its city limits. The city welcomes conservative quality growth guided by planning and resident engagement. A strong community bond, sense of place, and supportive city framework provides a safety net for residents to access resources when needed. The centerpieces of the community are safe and attractive streets and sidewalks for all users, excellent service provision, and a beautiful historic downtown. And I'll share some things that we have done as a community to maybe demonstrate how we're working our city government in conjunction with that vision statement. We recognize our citizens. We recognized Ms. Betty Bowers as our Citizen of the Year for her outstanding spirit of community and volunteer service. We held our 2nd annual Community Spring Fling, providing music for the community, and one of our churches stepped up and did hot dogs, drinks, and chips at no charge for those attending. We've been a hub for bicycle riding in Walton County for years now. We were the initial trail head for the Happy to Share Our Roads bicycle initiative. This year we already supported the 2 major rides, the bike ride across Georgia and the Tony Serrano Century Ride. Our city was recertified as a Tree City USA as well as a Firewise community. We dedicated our city park in memory of former Mayor Jim McGuthrie, who passed away last year. We provided new ground cover for our children's play area as well as safety mats for the swings and slides. In conjunction with the Walton County Roads and Bridges, we elevated and paved the in-city limits portion of Bearden Road. Our city entrance signs were put into place. Our comprehensive plan was approved by the Department of Community Affairs and we were again awarded qualified local government status. Our comprehensive plan update was our updated land development ordinance kicked up our lot sizes from 1 acre to 2 acre minimum for both agricultural and residential zones, with 2,000 square foot heated homes as the minimum requirement now. We updated our flood prevention portion of our ordinance to reflect the new state and federal guidelines to ensure residents would be eligible for flood damage insurance program. And to maybe paraphrase another good friend of mine's a little saying, "Wow, what a deal." And we did that using Splot's pennies and an operational general budget for the year for less than $40,000. Again, thank you very much for your kind attention to my discussing a super little gem of a community in Walton County. We appreciate the Chamber for allowing us to come up and brag a little bit. Thank you.
Everybody okay out there? When I got here this afternoon, Liz Elliott came up to me and says, you've got to at least tell one joke, because everybody's going to be feeling the pressure of this lunch, being in the afternoon hours. And I said, I don't know if I have anything that's appropriate. But with that in mind, I'm going to share this one with you, which she said was okay. But anyway, I shared, so if anybody's got a problem with it, please see Liz. I shared this with the American Legion a while back, and they all said it was very, very, very appropriate. As governments do sometimes, they send out money and questions to try to get the answers to things. And this questionnaire came out, and it went out to all the military folks, and it was a simple question. Pastor Tommy, if you're recording this, you might want to give me about 30 seconds. But anyway, the question was, is sex fun or work? Simple question, as the government does. They went all across the country trying to get answers, spent millions of dollars. Finally, they got the answer that they thought was absolutely the most appropriate answer they had ever heard. It came so much for no censorship in Walton County. But it came from a private, and it simply said, sex has got to be fun. It is not work. Because if it was work, us privates would have to be doing it for the officers. And can you not see that happening somewhere in the country? But anyway, Liz, that's your deal. Would you please stand by the door at the end of our get-together and let everybody share their feelings with you? Seriously, would like to thank everybody for being here today, and special thanks to the Walton County Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. 2022 started with a changing of the guard in Loganville, with myself taking over for the first time as mayor, and with the addition of new faces on the city council in Melanie Long and Brandon Whitfield. Ann Hunsinger was reelected to her post on the council, so it was quite a bit of change. It seems as though Loganville's population exploded starting in the year 2000, and we as a city have been steadily growing ever since. We issued a total of 424 building permits in 2021, and I remember back to 2012 when we were not doing so well, and I got these numbers gathered up at that point in time, and that year we did 29. So it is a floating situation. And most of those include everything from single-family homes to sign permits. To date, we've issued this year 329 already, very much keeping the pace with recent years. As I speak, we have 4 neighborhoods in various stages of construction, representing more than 400 additional homes inside of our city limits. We have the Cottages of Loganville, and that's sort of like a condo apartment complex. I'm so glad they didn't go all apartment. It's the one-level cottages versus a 4-level apartment thing, so we're happy with that. And it's going through its final plat review with 2 additional apartment townhome projects already in the pipeline. For those of you that didn't know it, apartments, and I know you do, apartments is a big thing these days. A lot of our young folks don't want to live in homes. They don't want to have the responsibility and all this kind of stuff. And in our case, people come at us like, why in the world would you want more apartments in our city? Good question. And for folks that are not in government, those plots of land was approved for apartments in the year 2000. So 22 years ago, a council made that decision that apartments could go in that spot on the comprehensive review process. So it doesn't get us out of everything, but we try. So as a result of continued growth, myself and the Loganville City Council continue to analyze best practices to refine our approach to ensure our city does not just grow for the sake of growing, but focus on better quality growth. We are redefining the parameters for our planned urban village classification, and we have developer talking with us, which is our only mixed-use zoning allowed inside the city. And I expect and anticipate discussions in the coming weeks at the council level for making improvements to our city ordinance to address better preservations of trees in new developments. It was a goal of the previous administration to help guide the redevelopment of the downtown area, and that is a goal I'm proud to carry on, because all of you know we need some help in our downtown. In February, we had a council retreat where we as leaders got the better understanding of some of the goals for this effort. We're currently working with a firm to help us put these ideas into a vision that we can use moving forward. There will be some tough decisions made. For example, where are we going to put our new library? It has to be 2.5 acres, and we've committed it for being downtown. So that cuts down the prospects or the various locations quite a bit. We will also potentially move and enlarge our town green. It has gotten, our audiences have gotten so large that we now find ourselves that we're out of space. So it happens. We've been there for about 10 years now. And while talking about downtown, I would be remiss not to mention that Loganville was excited to join some of the other cities in Walton County as part of the filming industry. The movie that filmed in Loganville is going to be called The Big Door Prize. Not only brought us a taste of Hollywood, but it also spurred discussion about some ways to improve the city as well. City leaders approved an ordinance to allow for the installation of murals on buildings along our city center. The movie people, by the way, are planning to return to see us again in December because they have already been approved for seasons 2 and seasons 3. So they'll be back more than just December, but we'll look forward to that in the future. As I look back on 2022, I think another important accomplishment for the city of Loganville was the completion of our comprehensive traffic study. The blueprint for the future has helped us identify a number of projects. Our city budget last year, this current year, is $12,500,000. The company we employed to study our traffic gave us projects that, if we did them all, would cost $60 million. So obviously, we're not going to do them all. And obviously, we're going to ask for a lot of partnerships. But that's the burden that we face. I think it is important to note that the study has already resulted in discourse between us and the Georgia Department of Transportation regarding a few of the projects identified by the study. City staffs are diligently working with GDOT officials on creating an alternate route for Tommy Lee Fuller Road, tying this project into a realignment of public driveway and a traffic signal. We're also making headway with GDOT as it relates to the installation of traffic signals on Highway 78 in front of Publix. I think John Howard is just going to come up and let me do his speaking for him, so I'll carry on as best I can. With most of our events calendar in the rearview mirror, we still have some pretty good ones left for 2022. This weekend is our Back the Blue car show, and it's going to be on Main Street. It'll take place on Saturday. And then on October the 15th, we'll have our biggest event of the year, and that's Fall Fest. And we're excited about those. I spoke with the event staff earlier this week, and they have more than 200 vendors at that Fall Fest. And they've had people calling every day wanting to be in it, and we're having to turn them down and say, no, we're full up. We also have our annual Christmas parade on December the 3rd, and then our event staff gets to catch its breath for a few weeks before they start putting 2023 together. But before I leave today, I want to take note, and again, I grew up in a Baptist church, and I had a pastor that said in closing about 6 times before he closed. So, in closing, before I leave today, I want to take a moment to thank the hardworking staff of the city of Loganville. It starts with the city manager, Danny Roberts. You still here, Danny? That's probably a good thing. He never thought he'd hear me say that. Who I think often goes underappreciated, but is probably one of the best around at his job. And we do have great staff. Just for an example, we just got our audit report back. For the first time in the history of the city, we had no findings. And that's a good thing. Of course, some people would say, well, did they really show up? But they did, and they did their audit. And usually they'll find a few little things, but this time they did not find anything. It takes a lot of work to get to there. And in closing, All of you see this on your tables? I would say, is that 1:30 or 1? You know, there are some people in this world that would be dissuaded by that. I don't happen to be one of them. But anyway, take one of these home with you. Splosh is coming up in November. And I know people say, why should I vote to tax myself? Well, I got to tell you, if you're happy with the way transportation is today in Walton County, with the same roads from 30 years ago with triple the population, then vote the way you want to. If you're not happy with traffic, I would suggest that you vote for the splosh, because if we don't get the splosh, some of that money is going to come from property taxes to do what has to be done, and some things we'd like to do will not get done. So in closing, I'd like to welcome John up to the podium. I know he doesn't have a lot to say, but we're still welcome. Would y'all give John a hand, please? Come on, John.
I really couldn't tell whether I was going to be able to use the air horn to show you or if I was going to need it for him. It worked for him, and I can't get it to work again. Good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate your being here. I generally get called down for speaking a little bit too long. So instead of writing this over the course of the 3 days before, I took this opportunity to write it over the 15 minutes while I was sitting at that table eating. I do want to thank Meta and Katie. Your eloquence and communication skills are just amazing. I appreciate your sponsorship, and I really admire your talents. And with a communications company like Meta, you're just the perfect fit. So thank you for sponsoring. And who else do we have out here? Natalie, thank you for sponsoring as well. I noticed Amy didn't let you come up and brag. Did you want to brag first? Okay. And always thank you for the chamber for putting this together. Let's see. Growth is occurring, and you all see it. You see Monroe, you see the traffic, and I hear that we are just growing beyond our control, which is really not true. We've grown at a clip of about 1% to 2% over the last 10 years. So we are growing, but if you'll notice, we redeveloped downtown about 10 years ago. Over the course of the last 12 months, we've had 2.2 million visitors. So that is one of the reasons we need to do something to alleviate a little bit of traffic. We also did a public-private partnership investing in the Monroe Pavilion, which houses our Publix that opened in February of this year, and they've already had 1 million visitors. So traffic is only getting, we shall say, better, but more difficult to navigate. So we'll discuss this right after she calls me down. I do want you to know that the public infrastructure investment that we have made the decision as a council almost 2 years ago, $50 million bond that takes fiber to every home in town. That project is now underway. We have a new water plant, water tanks, wastewater treatment plant is not being expanded, but it's being brought up to environmental protection standards, which is why we have a building moratorium at the moment for any neighborhoods over 5 houses. We want to grow smart. We want people who want to be in Monroe to help make us better, who are going to contribute to the long-term success of our community. And I don't think that's done through 200 and 300 unit housing neighborhoods. We are going to need some apartments. We've just approved 288 units that are going next to Piedmont Industrial Park. And that's basically employment housing. Those folks need a place to live. And as you know, prices are moving forward. As a matter of fact, Walton County had 3 of the 50 fastest growing values in the country. Monroe was not among those. And we're still a bit out of reach for far too many people. I do want you to know that we have an estimated enhanced $11.6 million in traffic improvements. So remember to take one of those home. I want to introduce, everybody knows Leanne Aldridge. Leanne, where are you? Okay. Leanne is sitting with Sarah Shropshire. Sarah, would you stand for us, please? Sarah's our new community development director. She's come to us from the city of Athens. She has learned exactly what not to do 30 minutes away, and she's going to bring back all the good stuff for us. We are so excited she's here. And I think Katie Butler is here too. Katie's our new Economic Development Director. She's a rock star. Many of you have already known Katie for a long time. She was in Covington at their Art Society, and cannot think of two better additions to our team. You know our events have always been a strong success. Again, credit to Leanne. We average about 7,000 people at our concerts when they were on the downtown green. As we've moved it back to the historic courthouse this summer, we've been more in the 3,500 to 4,000 people range, 3,500 to 4,000 people range. We've been at 20,000 people on average for our major events. The car show, the Christmas parade, and the fall festival was at, I believe, 19.6 last year, 19,600. So that's all cell phone data. And of those 19.6, that doesn't include all the kids who were here, you know, for the face painting, and for those of us who have bald heads, to have the backs of our heads painted. So our events are rocking and rolling. Our physical plan is rocking and rolling. Our police officers have just gotten a 20% raise. Our firefighters and police officers have had expanded benefits for retirement and health care. So we obviously see a budget of $13 million being used in a manner that you would treat your own homes. We want what's best. We can only afford so much. We know that every single project that we add, the money has to come from somewhere. So we're trying to strengthen every one of our departments. And I do want you to know, among the very, very, very few towns across the United States, specifically across the state of Georgia, we've had no increase in violent crime. We've had a reduction in our Part 2 petty crimes. So that is an honor to R.V. Watts and his team. That being said, our reserves are well funded. If we have a catastrophic event, we can afford to put back all of our utilities. That budget runs about $60 million. We are a full-service city, so that includes everything from wastewater treatment to freshwater well wells to police to fire to electric to fiber, telecom. We do it all, and we struggle to do it very well. And I do want you to understand our team at City Hall, those who are doing the day-to-day operations and those who are doing customer service, please thank them when you see them, because they are working for you every day. As a matter of fact, 365 days a year, which equals 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, somebody's working for you and that working for us. And I'm so thankful that they're part of our team. That being said, we have new restaurants that have opened. Strange Taco opened last week. Nez's opened last month. The Rose build-out should be complete in the next month or so. We have new management at South on Broad. We have Prince Tribute Band attempting to come on Friday, October 15th. This is the second time we've postponed him, so maybe the third time's a charm. Fall Fest is Saturday. Again, we expect a ton of folks here. Long-term dream is an arts and performing arts and cultural arts center for the city of Monroe to house what is always a full theater, which are always full events. And she's now giving me the stop sign instead of the air horn. So I thank you so much for listening. And if you want to talk to me about any of the projects that we have done or we have planned for the city of Monroe with the T-Splost, I'm always available. Take these home. Tell your friends, yes is a must for this T-Splost. Thank you for listening.
Those are hard acts to follow. Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be with you today and my fellow vice mayor and mayors, with the exception of Mayor Belials. That was a joke, Skip. I've been asked by a very dear friend in the audience today not to tell a joke, so I won't bore you with that. But I do want to tell you, share some information with you about the city of Social Circle. We call this the state of the cities. So to me, I want to share a little financial information with you, where we stand right now. June 21st of this year, our council adopted a $26,352,448 budget. Now, if that seems excessive to you for a city, it probably is, but a great deal of that money is going into our infrastructure in the city, which we are in great need of. General fund gets about $6 million, almost $7 million of that. SPLOST, about $825,000. Water and sewer that I mentioned, almost $12 million. And our gas, about $6.5 million. So that's a summary of our budget for the city. 2020 census shows our population to be 4,974 people, just shy of the 5,000 mark. And got a letter recently, it's a little bit concerning to me, that talks about a revision to that number. And the revised number, and I've not been able to track the source of this yet to see if we are allowed to use this number, but it increases our population by about 150 people to 5,125. Now that's important to the city as we're going through negotiations now with LOST, T-SPLOST, not SPLOST this year, but I am going through that with our Newton County. You know, the dollars matter there. They add up. If we're able to use more population, obviously we get a greater percentage of those dollars. So finding out what the true population is very important to the city. By the way, I failed to mention to thank the Chamber for hosting today. Thanks to Meta, Katie, for sponsoring. You are always great to the City of Social Circle. Thanks to Precision Planning for sponsoring as well. We're honored to do business with Precision Planning, so thank you for that. I want to go over some of the job availability in Social Circle. These are the companies that are currently hiring. You got General Mills, Goodyear, Holder Construction, Isanova, JK Designs, Master Rack, Meta, Southern Metalcraft, Takeda, and Top Polymer. So that's quite a number of jobs that are all available on the websites through Walton County that you can go and have a look at those. So a lot of good jobs available for us. New businesses either opening or reopening in Social Circle. 5 June, Alterations by Holly. The Sociable, which is a monthly, just opened, it's a monthly office space rental. The Grilling Station hopes to reopen soon. 10 Plate, Critters Outdoor Pizza, Angel Dust Gifts and Decor, Deep South Cattle Company, the Elite Space, the Circle Nutrition, and recently opened the Walton County Community Center there in Social Circle. That was on August the 15th. We had the grand opening, and thanks to Walton County for providing that beautiful facility for Social Circle. Housing, we've got several existing subdivisions that have filed permit requests. 30 new homes have been built in the Winsong subdivision. Our Jubilee subdivision, after constructing several new homes, is now at 100% capacity. Town Park, 68 lots available for construction and those lots are expected to sell and begins construction in January of 23. Connor Springs is a new subdivision with 111 approved homes with construction to begin soon. And a new subdivision by Reliant Homes is expected to be approved by the council to provide an additional 30 homes in Alcova Drive. So the growth on residential homes 2022, just shy of 250, right at 275, I think. Upcoming events, our Friendship Festival was scheduled for October the 5th. A little hurricane was supposed to come through. It didn't happen that way. It turned out to be a beautiful day, but we postponed that event to October the 29th. We've got a Christmas tree lighting Saturday before Thanksgiving and several merchant events planned in December. For those of you that have never visited Social Circle at Christmas time, we have what we call the Christmas House. If you're familiar with Social Circle, go to the red light, take a left. If you're coming out of Monroe and it's right there by the fire station, they really light up the town. Great people. That's the Hornsbys. So try to get by and visit that if you can. And the last thing I want to talk about is everybody heard of Rivian, the electric vehicle? Show your hands. Heard of it? Well, most of what I was going to talk about today, if I consume my 7 minutes, was about Rivian. A lot of jobs, a lot of different things coming to the county, to the city. Unfortunately, there's been There's been a ruling and a hiccup in that, but I have gotten permission from the state to tell you on that project that the state owns the property and they're in the process of grading a 500-acre pad at the moment. So that's 2,000 acres owned by the state. What's going to happen there is yet to be determined, but they are starting that now. T-Splost. All the mayors have spoken about that. I encourage you to take that document that's provided on your table, and I'm sure they have more if there's not enough. Read the question and answers. That's a very beneficial thing for the cities to pass. And I'm getting the sign for 30 seconds left. I'll ask each of you to consider the fact early voting starts October the 17th. Please get out and vote. This is one of the most important elections that I remember in my lifetime. So I ask for you to get out and vote. I'm not running this time, thankfully, but a lot of important races out there. So anyway, thank you for your time. Thanks for listening to me, and God bless you all.
How are y'all? If y'all don't know me, I'm the mayor of Walnut Grove, Mark Moore. And first of all, I want to thank the Chamber for having us here. Thank the sponsors. Precision, I've been working with, the City of Walnut Grove has been working with for 15, 20 years, and we really appreciate them. Now, when I was elected, I was under the impression that all I had to do was smile, shake a few hands, and kiss a few babies, and that just didn't happen. I've had to utilize my 40 years in business to help manage the Walnut Grove and help bring us into the current age. We started up the DDA and the Planning and Zoning, and we also included a Community Involvement Committee, which has brought a park market once a month and really brought the community together. We've had a lot of challenges. Challenges as in trying to create a master plan and also shortcomings of our sewer plant. So we're trying to work with Precision to expand those capabilities to bring growth into our area. We've had 100 new homes over the last year with another 50 planned for the next 50. Next 50 homes for the next 6 months. We're also trying to create a new downtown master plan or downtown center. Downtown center looking at 3 stories, bottom story floor residential, second and third stories mixed use. And so we can kind of have a commercial residential use. Sorry about this, I'm not used to speaking in front of people. We've had a brand new cabinet shop coming in. We've got a new donut shop, which is, I'm gonna have to say it's the best donut shop in Walton County. We have revitalized the park, and we're working with Walton County to bring a new 220-acre park that's gonna tie into our downtown center, and it's gonna feed off of each other. So we're real excited about that. But I also wanted to thank, as I mentioned, the fact that, you know, the relationship between these guys right here, the fellow mayors. We have created a friendship that we get together and work out problems and talk about things that stay between us and help shape Walton County as a community effort. And I'm real proud about that, and thank you for all your help. So that's about all I've got. I'm not going to drag on any further. So thank you for having me, and I look forward to the next time.
I'm just kidding, Skip. Just kidding. But I do want to thank our cities. They work well together. They work great and support the chamber, and we just really appreciate all that you do and appreciate the updates today. So we do have an important item on the November ballot, as you've heard from some of the mayors today. It's T-Splost. You have some flyers on your tables. I encourage you to take that and read it. One side talks about the top 5 benefits, which are better road and new trails now and in our future, reduced burden on taxpayers, cost is shared by non-residents. And one of the ones that I think is most important is that state DOT has a matching grant guarantee. So if T-SPLOST passes, we're expected to bring in $80 million, and the state will match that $100 million in grants that we don't have to pay back. So that's huge for our community. So all T-SPLOST funds will stay in Walton County to benefit the cities and the county roads and trails. So it's for roads and trails. And the Walton Chamber Board and Business Advocacy Council, we are asking you to vote yes for this so that we aren't driving on roads with triple the population that we have had for the last 30 years. So.
Hey guys, Isaac over at Reboot, giving you a Reboot tech tip. Just want to talk a little bit today about kid safety on the internet, especially nowadays with all kids having the smartphones and the tablets and laptops and all that stuff. It can only take like a click or two for kids to get in trouble, especially if they're not taught rules and stuff like that. It can be very dangerous very quickly. I am not a big Apple person, but one thing I do love about Apple is on their phones and their iPads, they have a program called Screen Time. And you can lock down that phone or that iPad. If you only want them to go to certain websites, you can do that. If you only want them on the internet for a certain amount of time, you can do that. If you don't want them installing all this social media stuff, these crazy apps like Snap and Kick and the dangerous stuff, Twitter, whatever it may be, you can lock that down. So I'm a big supporter of Apple in that way. So if you want to give your kid a phone, an Apple iPhone is a great way to go. Or if you want to give your kid a tablet, an Apple iPad is a great way to go. If you can't quite figure that stuff out, the Screen Time app, you can always take it to a place and they can help you out, or Apple support can help you out, stuff like that. But I'm big on that. One other thing too I'll say about kids being on computers, it's gotten a little better, I would say, lately with like Google helping out, Microsoft, Bing not so much, but Google has helped lock down a lot of stuff on their browsers, especially like Google Chrome I'm talking about. If you take and turn on the safe search, there's a safe search little toggle thing that you can turn on, and that helps a lot. It can help on regular browsing, but it can also help on like YouTube and stuff like that. It's not 100%, but it can definitely help. One other thing I'll touch on too, so there's apps out there called accountability apps. There's one that I've used for kids called Ever Accountability. It doesn't stop kids from going places, but what it does is it tracks everything. Even these apps on their phones and stuff like that are supposedly erase stuff after they look at it. It keeps track of everything, even stuff that gets erased. So if they're doing something crazy on their phone or their tablet or their computer, that all that stuff can be tracked, and that's a great tool. Again, it's called Ever Accountability. And I'm a big supporter of teaching your kids about the internet and stuff like that, because it can be so dangerous so fast. So but anyway, stay safe, and please keep your kids safe on the internet. Again, Isaac with Reboot, giving you the Reboot tech tip.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to